What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here. Welcome to another edition of After the Movie. I'm actually at my house right now because, well, a new movie just came out. Well, not really a new movie. Well, I mean, it's a new movie, but it's the same thing that came out in 1994. Disney's remake of The Lion King, the photorealistic, trying to come across as a live-action remake, but mostly CGI film. Disney went ahead and put this thing together. I've heard it's entirely shot for shot. I've seen clips of it online. It doesn't intrigue me or interest me at all. I love The Lion King. I really, really do. I think it's one of Disney's best films they've ever made. But by trying to make it ultra realistic, you lose the personality, the beauty, the expressions, the emotion, the way that is a film that really should have no reason to be given the photorealistic treatment. And I just don't see a point in going to see it. So I figured I'd stay home. I put on the original Lion King. That movie's still great, still holds up very well. Some issues I have here and there, but overall it's still a solid film. Then I went through, I'm like, I don't own Lion King 2. I looked on my DVD, my shelf over there, and I looked in the corner of my eye, I'm like, do I own Lion King? I pulled it out, and I'm like, wait a second. Let's talk about a movie that nobody ever seems to talk about. That's right, we're going to be talking about a film I haven't actually seen in well over a decade, and that is The Lion King 1.5. That's right, this is a Timon and Pumbaa film. It's got some original music. It kind of spoofs The Lion King and has a good amount of fun with it. And in terms of straight-to-video Disney sequels, this is probably the second best. I think the best that they've done, in my personal opinion, is an extremely goofy movie. I think that one's on the same level as the first film, and it's just solid. It just, both films, goofy movie films, are pretty good. And yeah, I surprisingly enjoyed The Lion King 1.5. I remember watching it when it came out years ago. It's got a bit of a self-aware humor towards it, and they spend most of the time kind of Timon and Pumbaa just spend most of the time just kind of like, you know, poking fun and lampooning the original Lion King and having a bit of fun with it. You know, of course you have Nathan Lane back, and you have the guy who voices Timon or Pumbaa. Why can't I remember his name off the top of my head? I can't remember, but anyway, so you got that. You got Ernie Sabella. Ernie Sabella, that's the one who voices Pumbaa. Oh, my bad. Matthew Broderick's back, of course. Pretty much most of the original cast returns back for this one, and it explains a lot of things that happened in the original Lion King. Like, for instance, when all the animals bow to Simba, that's because Pumbaa ripped some serious ass in the middle of the crowd, and all the lions started to, you know, bow. You find out why they all trip over, and I just can't wait to be king. You see Timon and Pumbaa, like, kind of at the events of everything, but cleverly woven into them to not just take away from the original story. But Disney would often do a lot of these midquels, but this is one where it takes a comedic edge to it. It doesn't really feel like a huge, like, it doesn't feel cynical. They definitely had a lot of fun making this one, and there's some really funny jokes in this one, too. There's one in particular that had me laughing quite hysterically the first time. Like, upon rewatching this, I completely forgot about. That's when the hyenas are going after Timon and Pumbaa, and Timon just decides to propose. He's like, Shenzi Marie Jacqueline Hyena, will you take the liberty of becoming my bride? And you just see this look of shock on Pumbaa's face, and I'm like, what? So there's definitely a self-aware sense of humor to this one. Some of the songs are catchy. There's the one where it's like, digging tunnels, digging tunnels. Like, that one is entirely catchy. And it's just Timon and Pumbaa just being best friends, having a good time. You see things from their point of view, where they were at during the events of The Lion King. You meet Timon's mom. You meet their uncle, his Uncle Max. And his mom is actually voiced by Julie Kavner, you know, Marge Simpson, which is kind of funny. And Jerry Stiller voices his uncle. So they go in there, he meets up with Pumbaa, they start as acquaintances, then become friends, they try and find, like, their Hakuna Matata. They help Simba out. It's a small story, it doesn't quite have the emotional weight of the original Lion King, not even close. But as a funny spoof, I think it works, just something that just lampoons the Lion King. And I've never seen Simba's Pride, or Lion King 2, all the way through. I've seen good chunks of it. I just never owned it growing up, so I never really sat down and watched it. I'm sure it's okay, but Lion King 1.5, I think it's worth checking out for sure. And having not seen it in a long time, I thought it was pretty funny. And I like Timon and Pumbaa. I think they're funnier in this movie than they actually were in the original Lion King. because obviously they had their TV show that came out. They just kind of got funnier as it went along because Timon and Pumbaa are just really likable as these fun little side characters, and like Nathan Lane and that, just they do a tremendous job. Like Nathan Lane, I'll watch him in anything. He's hilarious, especially this one. And if you ever see the Birdcage, he's really really funny in that one. That to me is like the most iconic Nathan Lane role, like as Albert in the Birdcage. I should watch that one again. It's a pretty funny movie. But yeah, Lion King 1.5. It just kind of tells their story. They're trying to just tag along, doing their own little side adventure. Making fun of events of the Lion King is always hilarious. And yeah, I like seeing this. And plus we get a little bit more of Simba as a kid, or a young teenage Simba, if you will. Just get some little scenes in there sprinkled in. So I definitely like that aspect to it a bit too. So yeah, Lion King 1.5. It's a pretty fun little movie. So if you get the chance, definitely check it out. It's one of the best straight-to-video Disney movies, because there's a lot of shitty ones out there, but this one is not one of them. This one doesn't feel cynical at all. Yeah, of course, every movie is a cash grab, but this one's not. It's more creative than, say, what Disney's doing with the current Lion King film. It does a Mystery Science Theater kind of jokes with it, too, with Timon and Pumbaa just kind of pausing and, like, you know, playing the movie. Some funny lines from Timon and Pumbaa throughout. I enjoy this one. I think in terms of straight-to-video Disney films, it is probably the second best in terms of the ones I've seen. Number one, for me, will always be Extremely Goofy Movie, but this one I probably say is the second best. So if you have to check out any straight-to-video Disney sequels, check out this one, because it's 1.5. Like, it's kind of really, I really would call it Lion King 3. It's more of a parallel journey, but they also kind of riff on the Lion King throughout it, so that's always fun. So yeah, if you have seen the Lion King 1.5, what are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comment section down below. We'll talk about it some more. As always, comment, like, subscribe. I'm not going to go see the new Lion King movie, probably not until it comes out on video. I feel like Disney's kind of become a bit too powerful. They've really taken over things, and it's just all the biggest movies, the only movies that are making money this year are Disney movies. Nothing is remotely even coming close. Like John Wick Chapter 3, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, it made money, but it kind of underperformed under the weight of just these Disney films. And I'm just like, oh, it's like the top 5 movies of the summer of this year are just going to be Disney and Marvel movies. They're just too powerful. But I kind of figured this would happen this year, and then after 2019 will be the year that Disney really will start to take a nosedive, because 2020, it's like they're just going all in on everything. You know, they have Endgame, they had their Marvel films, they had Toy Story 4, they got Frozen 2. Oh, so they got Star Wars coming out. It's absolutely insane how many number of films that they're just releasing. They just keep making money. They did Aladdin. Aladdin made like almost $1 billion. What the shit? So yeah, if you get the chance, check out Lion King 1.5. Don't go see or I shouldn't say don't go see it. See it if you want to go see it, but I'd say I would recommend watching this instead of the new Lion King movie, or just put on the 1994 film. It's better voice acted, it's visually more interesting, the characters are a lot more emotive and expressive, and it doesn't feel as shameful. So yeah, give that a watch. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of Lion King 1.5, and yeah, I'll talk to you all later. Take care now. Bye bye then. I'll see you next time.